Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to your favorite channel, Let's Learn Together. This is Shafiq Ahmed over here, and we are going to conclude the chapter on equality in this tutorial. As you are aware of from the last tutorial that we have discussed about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's some of the thinking, some of his thoughts. So let us recap from the last topic so that we can move forward. So what we discussed in our previous tutorial that Bhimrao Ambedkar ji has stated that it is very disgraceful to live at the cost of one's self-respect. What it means that if you're living your life and you don't care about your self-respect, then your living in this particular world is disgraceful. That is known as sharmnak. Means he want to say that if you're living in this world, then live with your head on the top, live with your pride, live with your self-respect. Don't let others hurt your self-respect. Don't do such an act that cause your self-respect to reduce, to lead down, to fall down. So he also stated that self-respect is the most important factor in life, and without which man is a cipher, means nothing. Man is a zero. So he clearly stated that self-respect is the most important thing in your life. If you don't have self-respect, you are zero. And if you want to maintain your self-respect, then what you have to do? You have to overcome your difficulties. You have to fight from your difficulties. You have to win against your difficulties. Means you'll have to keep on trying until and unless you get success. So it is not a short struggle or not short fight back that you will win against all your difficulties in a very short time. It will take time, but you can win only if you are hardworking and you are struggling endless. Means you are not stopping your fight back. You are continuing, going on and fighting for your difficulties. You have to try for your difficulties, to overcome over your difficulties, and only then you can get strength, confidence as well as recognition. आपको ताकत भी मिलेगा, you will get the confidence also, and you can get the recognition in the society. Everyone will say that, see that Mr. A or Mr. that is coming, and he is so important in our society. So we will have to work hard for that. So let us continue in our lesson with another thinking of Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. What he said that man is mortal. It means what? Everyone has to die someday. Man is not only man over here, man means all human being over here. So everyone who has born in this world will have to die someday or the other. No one is going to survive here for long. No one is here to survive till the day of the judgment. Everyone will have to die someday. So what he is saying, that if you know that you have to die, you will die someday, then why don't you make up your mind to lay your life to improve the ideas of self-respect? Why don't you lead your life like this? Try to improve the ideals, है ना, noble ideals, आदर्शों, है ना, आदर्श के साथ जिए हम लोग, self-respect के साथ, है ना. We should live our life with self-respect and we should try to improve it so that people can respect us. And even we have to lead our life in bettering one's human life. Or we should always try to do better in our life. We should always try to move ahead in a better way. What he also said over here, that nothing is more selfish, is a very exactly a very good statement over here, and really you have to think of on it. That he is saying that it is a shameful for a brave man if he is living his life without a self-respect. A man is very brave. He can defeat anyone, but he is living his life without self-respect. It means if someone is hurting him, if someone is scolding him, if someone is trying to pull his leg and he's keeping quiet, then his life is none other than shameful, full of shame. Means Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Ji wants to say that if you are a brave man, then you should also take care of your self-respect. Do not let others to hurt your self-respect. That is known as dignity also. Think of yourself that you are worthy of respect, and think about others also, that others are also worthy of respect. So you are living your life with self-respect, then it is far better. It is good. You are doing right for your life. But if you are living your life without any respect, no one is respecting you, you do not respect yourself, then it is life just useless life. So that was the thinking according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and that is my thinking also. You should also think like this, that everyone should respect you, and before everyone will respect you, you should respect yourself first. So how can you respect yourself? If you are helping someone, then you will feel proud of yourself that yes, I am worthy of something for others, that I am capable of helping some others. So just you try to help someone one day and feel, you will feel better by helping someone, by guiding someone. That is the thing Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is saying, and even I am saying to all of you. Try to help others. Do not do such a thing that people scold you, people do not like you. Do such things that everyone should praise you. That is the earning of respect, and then only you can feel within yourself that you have self-respect. So self-respect is not the thing that you can buy it from a particular store or a market. You will have to earn it, then only you can get self-respect. So let us move ahead. What is the next topic in our chapter? Now we have discussed the stories of equality, the values of equality, whether equality is prevailing in India or not. So we should also take some few examples that whether issues of equality are there also in other democratic countries, or is it the issue in our country only. Let us see whether uh, the issue of equality, everyone is equal or not, is prevailing in other democratic countries or not. Let us see. We will take one example. In the United States of America, the African Americans, now who are these persons? African bhi likha hai, and Americans is also written, African is also written. Two names are there. Don't get confused. It's very easy. We are calling African Americans to those persons whose ancestors were the slaves who were brought from Africa to America. Means people who have settled in America, but might be their ancestors were have brought from Africa in America to live in America as a slave. But as the slavery has abolished in America, now they are the citizen of America. But even then, they are called as African Americans. It means their ancestors, the people who are living there in America and whose ancestors were living in Africa, and their ancestors have worked over here in America as a slave, they are calling those persons African Americans. Means those African Americans are also the citizen of Americans, but their ancestors were from Africa. So these people who have come from Africa and settled in America are facing the challenges of inequality in America. So a most powerful country, might have heard a lot of time that America is the most powerful country, most developed country, but you can see the issues of equality is also there. The African Americans people are facing these challenges of inequality there. Let us move ahead. What happened there? African Americans were treated extremely unequally in the United States. Means they were treated unequally by the people who were pure Americans. Pure Americans means their ancestors were Americans and now they are Americans. They have born there. Means those are known as pure Americans, and their color are white. Means they are white people. So those white people are treating these African Americans who are not white, they are black. So those white persons, means pure Americans, are treating those African Americans extremely unequally. Means they are not giving equal opportunities to these African Americans who have settled in America. And see, even through law, they were denied equality. Means equality was also not written in the Constitution of America at that time. It was denied through law also. Denied means to not to be given. Means African Americans were not given equal opportunities, equal treatment in Africa, in America, through law also. But in our country, at least through law, everyone is equal in India. Whether someone follow or not follow, but it is written, clearly written in our constitution that everyone is equal. But it was not so in America at that time. Even through law, they were not divine, they were not given equal opportunities or equal positions. Who were not given? African Americans. Next, let us see what happened. There is an example. What is the example there? Let us see. That when traveling by bus, who? The African Americans, when they are traveling by bus, they either had to sit at the back of the bus or get up from their seat whenever a white person wished to sit. This is unfortunate. Means those African Americans will have to sit at the back of the bus. They cannot sit in front of the bus if they are traveling by bus. And suppose even at the back they are sitting, and if some white person, means American, pure American, want to sit at that place where the African American is sitting even at the back, then that African American person will have to stand up and give up his or her seat for that white person, means for that pure American. That was the situation prevailing in America at that time. You might have been feeling that how unfortunate were the African Americans, that they have to give up their seat. They cannot sit at in front of the bus. They will have to sit at the back. Even they will have to give up their seat when a white person will come and ask for the seat. Then they will have to get up from the seat. This was the situation there. Now let us see how the revolution began. How did they protest started? Rosa Parks is the name of a famous woman who was an African American woman. Means she was also a woman who was struggling against what? Equality. Was not given equal position in America because of her ancestors were living in Africa, and they were brought to America for what? For doing slavery. So she is also from Africa. Her ancestors have settled there. Let us go on. She was very tired one day, and as she was coming from the work, from official work, or from wherever she was working, she was very tired. And she took a bus and she was sitting in the bus. Might be at the back also. But let us assume that she was sitting at the back. And then what happened? A white man, means pure American, entered the bus, boarded the bus, and that white man asked Rosa Parks to give up her seat for him. Means that white man asked Rosa Parks to stand up and give up the seat, leave the seat. He asked Rosa Parks to leave the seat. And what was the date on that day? 1st December 1955. So we are talking about the incident of 1st December 1955 when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. What she did? She refused to give up her seat. She said that I am also very tired, so I am not going to give my seat to you. She refused that day, and Rosa Parks refusal started a huge protest. Protest matlab andolan. people started protesting against the unequal ways. Means that refusal from Rosa Parks was it acted like the spark of the fire to start the fire. That refusal from Rosa Parks was like the spark for this huge protest. बहुत सारे लोगों ने प्रोटेस्ट शुरू कर दिया रोजा पार्क के साथ मिलकर. They all started protesting with Rosa Parks because she refused, and all the Africans were together with Rosa Parks in the protest, because everyone was waiting for the day to start the protest, to start the revolution, to change all these unequal ways. So that was the beginning, that was the spark मतलब चिंगारी, वो चिंगारी की जरूरत थी. And that spark came from the refusal of Rosa Parks, because she refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man. And that protest later came to be known as also that movement, that protest which started with Rosa Parks refusal came to be known as the civil rights movement. This movement was known as civil rights movement. Now the civil rights of act of 1964, the civil right act of 1964, you just remember the date when this particular protest started, 1955, and this is the year 1964. Means around 9 years, you know? After 9 years, or it took 9 years for the protest to win. There was a civil right act introduced by the government in the year 1964, which prohibited, which stopped the discrimination on the basis of these things. See, race, religion, or national origin. This is important. National origin means they were from, even from Africa, but no one can discriminate those African American people from now on. From which date? From 1964. This act was implemented and was made in the year 1964, which prohibited that no one can now discriminate. No one can discriminate on the basis of this race, means casteism, religion, as well as national origin. So that was a win-win situation. That was a win situation for Rosa Parks as well as the all the African American people who won this battle. But you can think, you can imagine that how long it took. It took almost 9 years for them. That's why B.R. Ambedkar also told in his thinking that it is not easy to win something. It is not easy to earn self-respect. It takes times, and if you win, you will get confidence, you will get satisfaction, you will get recognition, and you will also get that is satisfaction also. You can win the heart of other people also, and you can win its strength also. That is the thing he was saying, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and he was almost correct. Almost means 100% correct he was. That because protest or the movement, it takes time. So let us see life of the African American in America. What was the status? How were they living in the America? Those African American, how were they living in America? What were their status? As we have gone through that, they were untreated equally. They were treated unequally in the country. Let us see what was happening with them. A majority of the African Americans continue to be among the poorest in the country. They were the poorest people of America. Who? These African Americans, because they were brought to America as a slave. So they were even at that time also the poorest in the country. Means they were only the people who were the most, you can say, the poorest in the country. Most African American children, see, African American children, they were only allowed or afford to attend government schools. Like in India, you will not find the son or daughter of a rich family or a businessman or a trader in government school. You will not find like this. All the people who are rich, who are having a lot of money, they are sending their child to the private school. Likewise, as because the African Americans were the poorest in the country, so only their children were going to government school because they cannot afford to send them. They cannot try to send them because they were not having money. They cannot send them to good American schools or private schools. So in America also the scene is same. The same scene over is there, that fewer facilities were there and only poor qualified teachers were also there. Means teachers who were teaching in those government school were also not qualified. They were poorly qualified, and the school were not having a lot of facilities, only fewer facilities, such as there might be fan or light only, but no AC, no chair, no benches, no whiteboard or blackboard may not be there also. So these African American children were only going to these government schools, not the rich one. See, while white students, the pure Americans, they were either going to private schools, they were having money, they were not poor, they were going to private schools, or they were living in areas where the government school are highly rated as private schools, or those pure American children were living, or those family were living, pure American children family were living in those area where the government school is also in good condition. So either they were going to private school or they were also going to government school in those places where the government school are almost like private schools. Like in India, in New Delhi, you can see nowadays that the government school have developed a lot, and they have transformed the government of New Delhi. The government of Delhi have transformed the government school into like private school. All the facilities which are present in private school, those all the facilities are also available in government school also. So like there were also few schools in America, also few government school which were having more facilities. So pure American families were living in those areas where the government school are having good facilities, and if not, then they were sending their children to private schools only. But the condition of the African Americans, we have seen that they were the poorest in the country, and even their children were going to only government school, which were neither having more facilities nor qualified teachers also. Now, let us come back to our Indian Constitution. Article 15 we'll have to go through in this chapter. Article 15 is not fully elaborated over here, but we are going to go through a few parts of the Article 15. That's why you might have seen you will see in your book that it is written except of Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. Means except means that's a part of Article 15 we are going to go through, because this is very, very important for all of us to know that what is written in this article, what is written in this part of the Indian Constitution. The name of the part is what? 15. Article 15 is the name of the part, because Indian Constitution is having a lot of articles. So we cannot go through all the articles in this particular chapter. So we are going one of the most important article, that is very good also, and we have to know this one. See what this Article 15 of the Indian Constitution is saying. This article is purely based on this prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion. Means it is stopping people from discriminating. Prohibition means stopping someone. So it is stopping people to discriminate on these particular grounds. What are those grounds? Means what are those particular things on which we cannot discriminate people? On the basis of religion, we cannot discriminate. We should not discriminate. And if you will discriminate, then it is against this article. And who will be going against the Constitution, against the article of the Constitution, they will be punished by law. So be very careful. that you should not discriminate anyone on this basis, on the basis of religion or race, caste, sex or gender, or place of birth. We have already discussed all these things. So what we have to do, we should stop discriminating. I will say that we should not discriminate on any ground. But we will discuss more. Let us see. The first instruction in the constitution is for the state. The constitution is saying in this article that the state means Bihar is a state, West Bengal is a state, and Maharashtra is a state. So we are having a lot of state in our country. Means this constitution, Article 15 of this constitution is saying in its first point to the state that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. In the state will not try to discriminate. They should not discriminate any citizen of this state. Means any people who is living in that state should not be discriminated on the basis of religion, race, place of birth, caste. Now let's move to the second point of the Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. Now what is it saying to the citizen? It is saying to the citizen of the country, the whole country, that we as a citizen also will not discriminate, means will not feel less respect or will not give any opportunity to some people. We should not do this. We should not discriminate. No citizen of the country, means none of us can sit and discriminate on this. Again, five different phases, which are, there are five different aspects: religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any one of them. If someone is discriminating, if a citizen is discriminating on the basis of all or any one of them, then it is also prohibited in this constitution. As we have seen over here, it is written clearly, prohibition of discrimination. Means it is stopping the people also that we should not discriminate on these five bases. Even it is saying be subject to any disability, liability. Means you cannot say that someone is disabled, or you cannot restrict anyone or in any condition that one will not access to shops, public restaurants, hotels, and places of public entertainment. Means you cannot deny that you are not authorized to go, you cannot come to this shop, you cannot go to that particular restaurant, you cannot go to that hotel because you are a Muslim, you are a Hindu, or you belong to lower caste, you are a Dalit family, you are belonging to a Dalit family. You cannot say all these things. You cannot stop anyone to go to any particular shop, restaurant, hotels, places of or public entertainment. Means public entertainment means you can say that grounds are also there where people go for entertainment, or movie theater also, they used to go to that movie theater also. So you cannot deny, you cannot stop any person by saying that you belong to particular this caste, or you are a male or you are a female, then you cannot go. You cannot do all these things. Or on the places of birth also, you cannot stop anyone to attend somewhere. And the next thing is what it is also saying, or clearly it is saying, or that means this one also, that you cannot also stop others by using wells. Means if there is a well in the ground or in open area, then you cannot ask anyone that you cannot use that well. If that well is in the open area, if that well has been constructed by the government, then you cannot deny, you cannot say that you cannot use this well because you are from this religion or from this race or from this caste. We cannot do this also. We cannot deny or we cannot access any one of them. We cannot say that you cannot come over in these places. Wells, what are these places? Wells, by using wells और by using tanks और bathing guards, है ना, जहाँ पर लोग बाथिंग करने के लिए जाते हैं. बाथिंग गार्ड्स सपोज बनारस में जाते हैं लोग, है ना, फॉर bathing purpose. That is holy bath, you all can say. So you cannot say that you belong to a lower caste, that's why you are not deserved to be over here. You cannot bath in this particular Banaras Ghat. This is a holy ghat, but you cannot come. You cannot say like this. because it is clearly written in Article 15 of the Indian Constitution. Even you cannot ask someone that you cannot walk in this road, you should not come to this road or to these public places, है ना? Whether it is maintained wholly means fully by the state government or partly by the state government. Means if that particular park, suppose there is a park, है ना, where people used to go and sit, and students and small kids, they used to play, and if that particular park is maintained by the government, state government, or if it is maintained partly, means few amount is given, half 50% amount is given of maintenance charge by the government, and 50% is governed by the state fund, means the state is collecting fund from that particular area, है ना, for maintaining the park. So maybe, or if it is dedicated to the use of the general public, or someone has created a park and it dedicated that park for the whole all public. So we cannot deny, we cannot say to anyone that you cannot come to this park, you cannot come to this particular bathing guard, or you cannot use this tube well or well, because it is clearly written in Article 15 that we cannot discriminate on this basis also. We cannot restrict anyone in using these things which are made for public. Suppose there is a well inside your home, है ना? You people have spent your money for digging that well or tank, or created that particular place, है ना? Then it is okay that you can restrict someone, that because it is in your area, that is your private property. But if it is not your private property, if it is the property of the government, then how dare you to ask someone that you cannot use? That's why it is written clearly in the Constitution that you should not say like this. We cannot restrict anyone in using these things if that thing is made by the government. Now, our last topic of the chapter is challenges of democracy. Means what are the challenges in this democracy? See, no country can be described as being completely democratic. This is a very statement, a very important statement that we have to consider and think on it. That it is saying that no country, means none of the country in this particular world is completely democratic, not fully democratic. There are always communities and individuals, means different type of communities are there, committees are there, individuals are there, who are trying to expand this idea of democracy, who are trying to teach people about the different aspects of democracy, different parts of democracy. There are many communities and even individuals like B.R. Ambedkar, I told you, Mahatma Gandhi, and many others are people, even there are many communities who are teaching people about the democracy. So there is a lot to be done yet, so that the equality will prevail fully in our country. Democratic, in other words, you can say equality also. So if there is no equality, then you cannot say that your country is completely democratic. If a single person will be humiliated, if a single person will be treated unequally, then you cannot say that your country is completely democratic. To be a completely democratic country, then everyone should be treated equally also. Because we have also discussed that equality is the soul of democracy. Equality is the soul of a democratic country. So it means that everyone should be given equal opportunity and treated equally. If it is not there, then your country cannot say that your country is a completely democratic country. That's why the first statement is there, that no country can be described as completely democratic. It means there is inequality prevailing in every democratic country. Somewhere more, somewhere less. That is the thing. So we will have to have understanding of equality, and we should teach others, convince others, inform others, and guide others also, that what really is the meaning of the word equality, how should we preserve it, and how can we promote it. We will have to think about equality on the existing as well as new issues. The issues which are prevailing from past, we will have to think about equality on that, and we will have to think about the equality on the new issues also, new problems also. think about whether the equality of all persons, see, we must think about this one, whether the equality of all person and their dignity has been maintained in India, in our country or not. We'll have to think on it. And after thinking, if you realize that there is something to be done, there is little chance, more chance to be done, so that equality will prevail in our country, and so that our country can be called completely democratic, then we should move ahead and start working on this particular point, so that the equality is given to each and everyone. Justice is given to each and everyone in our country, and only on that day there is no person who is treated unequally, who is getting the equal chances. Then only our country can be proudly say throughout the world that we are a completely democratic country. That is the thing, my dear. So hope you liked the chapter. It's all about equality. Everyone, we have